From the Carson Student Athlete Center and the Schaefer Sports Hall of Fame in Tempe, Arizona, it's time for Sun Devil Extra with Graham Rossini, presented by Spring Hill Suites, Phoenix, Scottsdale. I'm Braiden Bell. He's Graham Rossini, the athletic director of Arizona State University. And Graham, kind of a slow week, so we'll take this show
Nothing
slow.
Going on. Nothing to see here.
Not a lot going on around campus. Just kidding. Of course, a ton going on, starting with Arizona State football and. Wow, I think that's the perfect word to describe what we saw last Friday night. A 27-19 upset win over number 16 Utah, the first ranked win since 2019. A field storming at Mountain America Stadium in front of a national TV audience. We'll get into the nuts and bolts of the game, but first off, what a moment it was for this program.
Yeah, what a cool moment, and I mean, just kudos to our fan base once again, just showing up, creating an electric atmosphere inside Mountain America Stadium, you know, giving these guys that extra encouragement, that motivation to go deliver with the game on the line. And I mean, that fourth quarter was incredible. What happened afterwards with students on the field, a core memory and a very signature moment in the early part of this season.
People starting to really take notice around the country of what this team's doing now as well. I mean, Kirk Herbstreit had Kenny Dillingham as his third highest rated coach of the week. Of course, national awards, we'll touch on those in a moment. But at 5-1, many people had Arizona State maybe winning 3 games the entire season. Now you're sitting at 5-1. You beat the team that many expected to dominate the Big 12 this year, a team that beat ASU 55-3 just a year ago. Really impressive stuff all around, but when you add in those other factors, it really shows just how quickly the turnaround has gone.
Well, and we talked last year, you know, Utah was the aspirational program, and let's really study the Utah formula and you know, use those games to really kind of start to understand how we stack up. And yeah, they had some injury issues the past couple of weeks and maybe weren't at 100% when we got them last Friday night, but it's still very encouraging that the team is together. They're playing Sun Devil football. They're committed to their coaching staff. The coaches are on the same page. They're really complimenting each other in a way that's been meaningful and exciting. You know, exciting to go from a year later, 55-3, to an exciting win this year, less than 12 months later. Very encouraged, very exciting about the direction of the program, and more importantly, we've taken some gambles this year in terms of playing a Thursday or a Friday night game to be in front of a national television audience, and couldn't be prouder with how we've showcased ourselves in front of these national audiences.
Yeah, certainly the crowd was excellent, like you said. It was a blackout, and when you end up winning a game like that, it makes everything look even better. Let's talk about Cameron Scadaboo, because quickly there's some buzz, maybe Heisman talk for Scat based on what he's been doing recently, and I think that's completely justified. Top 5 in the country now in rushing, just another pedestrian 159 yards and 2 touchdowns, including maybe a scatquake, if you will. You've got the Beastquake up in Seattle when Marshawn Lynch was a Seahawk. Scatquake, 50-yard touchdown run where I'm not really sure how he kept his balance, but an unbelievable run to put ASU back in front in that moment, and then another long 48-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter to kind of seal the deal for ASU. Boy, is he fun to watch.
Hey, let's not forget, he made a really key cameo on this show after week 1.
Yes.
And you look at what he's done from that point forward. I think Sun Devil Extra has been a backdrop of Scadaboo and what he's been doing. But now, joking aside, like, couldn't be more proud of this young man and how he just competes. Like, he's a ball of energy. He's a football player. He wants the hits. He wants to give the hits. And, man, he's willing to take the rock in these key moments and delivers every time he has it.
He runs hard, and credit to Max Olson from ESPN for this tweet. He is now leading the nation in broken tackles with 49. And you totally do believe that, but it still just goes to show just how hard he runs. We got to talk about a viral moment as well. How about Kenny Dillingham's post-game press conference on the field, students and fans surrounding him, and it just shows the exuberance, the youth, the energy, how passionate he is about this program.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Such a cool moment.
Yeah, I was so happy for him. And he made a comment yesterday morning that I wouldn't have thought about, but he's never been on the field for a field rush before. Because as a coordinator, he's always up in the press box. And so he said it's the first time in his coaching career that he's actually been on the field for a field rush post-game. And, you know, again, been at some incredible programs like Auburn, Florida State, Oregon. And for him to have his first moment of being in that field rush on such a signature win in his young head coaching career was an awesome moment. Just so happy for him and Bree and their family and all of Sun Devil Nation for the way that night ended up playing out.
We were already talking about Scat and the performance he had, and of course that led to the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week as well as the Doak Walker Award Player of the Week. But we also need to touch on the defense, because this was a Utah team that they have some explosive playmakers. They're always a team that's known for running the ball, being physical. They really struggled offensively. The Sun Devil defense in that first half kind of had that bend but don't break mentality, holding Utah to 3 field goals. And a lot of those big plays were made by one linebacker for Arizona State, Caleb McCullough. What a game it was for him. 12 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, including the one that sealed the game. He was all over the field.
Yeah, very proud of Caleb and the job the defense has done. Some huge stops over the course of the game. And I think one of the attributes of that game that's so exciting is you look at how we played offensively, defensively, special teams making their contribution. That was a team win. That was a program complete game of football that we played against Utah, and results speak for themselves.
First 5-1 start since 2019 for this program, and of course there's a lot of momentum. It's kind of been building since that Wyoming game. Momentum building and building and building, and now you go back on the road for a 9 a.m. kickoff against Cincinnati, Big 12 play. Of course, that's a challenge. It's going to be their homecoming as well. It's going to be on ESPN Plus, of course, for those of you that will not be at the game in Cincinnati. But you got to flush that one aside. You had an extra day because it was a Friday night win, and prepare for Cincinnati now.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And once again, though, we've got Sun Devil Nation right there with us on the road. And so we're excited to go to Cincinnati. I think it's only the 3rd time we've ever played them in program history, so not really a matchup that our fans are used to. But Cincinnati's a great city. It'll be a fun environment this weekend with our homecoming. As you mentioned, we've got a plane full of donors going out there. Our annual donor trip will be in Cincinnati. The Alumni Association will be there with us. They've got a huge tailgate that will happen Saturday morning before the game. We've got a number of our corporate partners will be with us. And so there's a lot of Sun Devils that will be going out to Cincinnati for a really big matchup. And yeah, a little breakfast football for those folks back in the Valley.
Yeah, have some coffee, watch the Devils. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Cincinnati at 4-2, but really at a wider lens, the Big 12 as a whole. This is a conference where I know Coach Dillingham has said this top to bottom, 1 through 16, anyone can really beat anyone. I mean, we saw Kansas, who's had a tough year, battle with ASU a week ago. So it's completely up for grabs each and every week.
And I like that. I like that attribute of the conference where it is balanced, there is parity. Every game, every weekend matters. And I think we're going to start to see that now that we're about halfway through the schedule at this point. The fact that it is wide open, the fact that we're sitting here 5-1, 2-1 in the conference, a chance to keep kind of playing and building momentum into our resume for hopefully a bowl game and maybe even beyond. Every week's going to matter, and I like the fact that these games are competitive. You know, the beauty of playing on a Friday is you get to watch a lot of college football on a Saturday, and so watching UCF and Cincinnati play each other, both teams that will play in the coming weeks, there's a lot to like about both programs, and you start to understand how do we stack up. And Cincinnati 4-2, their homecoming. It's going to be a challenging environment with the morning start, cooler temps, which we're very much looking forward to, but something that we haven't quite played in yet. So, we're open to that challenge. We welcome the challenge on a week-by-week basis. We knew that was going to be a part of the Big 12 as we entered it, and here we are living that week by week, but we'll be ready.
Conference of parity, the most exciting conference, I think it's safe to say, top to bottom in college football this season for sure. Speaking of exciting, let's talk about Sun Devil hockey and the opportunity they had of hosting a national power in number 10 Michigan over the weekend to kick off their home season over at Mullet Arena. Some great crowds, sellout crowds throughout that weekend, and what a way it was to end that weekend. A 4-1 loss on Friday, but then Coach Powers and company were able to turn the page quickly, show resolve, and come away with technically what was a 3-3 tie, but ASU won the shootout over the Wolverines. But man, you could really just see what this program could be all about this weekend.
Yeah, and we've had the Michigan matchup circled for many years now. And we get the football schedule and understand that we're playing on a Friday night. We had to modify the puck drop for Hockey Friday, played the 3:30 game, and so just again appreciate our fans coming early, a long day on campus with hockey, then football, navigating some traffic that would have been unique for that one afternoon with 2 really big games and large crowds going back to back like that. But what an environment inside Mullet Arena. Really a lot of excitement for hockey this year as we go into the NCHC, being top 20 to start the season, getting a chance to play a blue blood right out the gate in our home schedule, and a lot of respect for Michigan, and that's Frozen 14 from a year ago. That's the program that Coach Powers and his team is aspiring to become, and so again, the benefit of these matchups is you get a chance to really stack up and understand how far are we away from being a top 10 team in major Division I college hockey. And so I was really proud of the effort. The game one, the score was a little deceptive. It's really 3-1 if you take out the empty net goal that they scored at the end, but really for maybe 50 of the 60 minutes, like we were in there. We were playing tough and competitive hockey, and there was a little bit of that blip coming in the second period. But for them to bounce back, kind of a defeating moment Friday afternoon, getting a chance to bounce back on a Saturday, and what an ending. 90 seconds left, down by 2, scoring those goals, sending it to overtime, defending well, getting in the shootout, and then Geli posting the shutout in the shootout was absolutely incredible. Student section sold out, arena sold out. A lot of excitement in Mullet Arena, and just fired up for what the hockey Sun Devils did this weekend as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You mentioned kind of that comeback, Noah Beck with the power play goal to make it 3-2, and then just 16 seconds later, it was
awesome,
wild. It was Colin Potter who tied it up, and then ultimately, like we said in the shootout, ASU comes away with the win. But we also got to touch on, I would go ahead and say there isn't another FBS head coach that would show up to another team sporting event before his own, only a couple of hours before. Kenny Dillingham, if you didn't see it, showed up Friday. Like you said, it was an early start time for that first hockey game against Michigan. He showed up there. He was in his suit, of course, what he wore into the stadium. That just shows how much he cares about this university, and also had to have meant a lot to Coach Powers and the hockey program as well.
Yeah, we just wrapped up a head coaches meeting right before we came down to tape today, and I mentioned that to the coaches. I'm so proud of the energy and the spirit across the department, and when head coaches are supporting each other, we've seen it in a number of our sports out of the gate, whether it's soccer or volleyball. Swim and Dives had a couple home meets under their belt now, and you see different coaches or different athletes supporting. It's such an incredible spirit. There's no replacement for that kind of energy, and they're all navigating these complicated times in college sports right now. But when the lights go on and we're competing, and you can look up in the stands and see fellow coaches or fellow student athletes there in the building, man, that means so much to everybody. And it's continued to build on this incredible energy around the athletics department right now. And give Coach Dillingham a lot of credit. I mean, this guy gets it. He is mature beyond his years. He is a passionate Sun Devil and wants to be a part of these moments. I don't think he's not doing it because he knows he adds value. He's doing it because he genuinely wants to be there and interacting with our students and our fans and our other athletes. It's just who he is, and I was fired up to see that.
Everything matters, right? And fans notice that, recruits notice that. It's something that does mean a lot going forward. And like you said, there is just kind of that swell of a momentum around this athletic department right now, especially on the football field and hockey. Like we said, they'll be on the East Coast taking on another power program this weekend, number 13 Providence Friday and Saturday up in Rhode Island. So good luck to the hockey program. Another hot program now, volleyball, and that's kind of the subject of our show today. We'll have Argentina Ung and Geli joining us in just a few moments, but an excellent weekend for volleyball. Kind of that tough home match, then travel on the road and play, and an early start time on Saturday against an unranked Texas Tech team. Well, they took care of the first step in 4 sets in what was the fourth biggest, I should say, crowd all time at Desert Financial Arena, taking down Arizona on Wednesday, and then they travel and beat Texas Tech, like we said. Number 13 in the country, and they're not slowing down now. 16-2 on the year.
Awesome. Yeah, and incredible non-conference. That momentum has just continued on into the early Big 12 schedule, and a lot of road games out the gate in the Big 12, and to be coming back home this week. Houston, Colorado, these important matchups that we'll have at Mullet Arena, really controlling their own destiny as we get into the final portion of the Big 12 schedule, and hopefully having a chance to play in the NCAA tournament once again this year. Man, I'm so fired up for this sport. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Arj and Geli being on the show today is a perfect fit because those two have set the tone. Mary Schroll is incredible in some of the defense that she's been playing. Celebrated her birthday yesterday. So fellow
happy belated.
Libra. So shout out to Mary on that. But so excited about volleyball and just continuing to show that, hey, we can be a volleyball school. We want to be a football school. We want to be a hockey school. We're a volleyball school. And the turnaround that Coach Van Niel and his coaches have done in 2 years, it's amazing. The moment that they walked on campus and what they inherited and where we are today. Couldn't be more excited about the trend line. And again, I mean, the Valley's got such rich volleyball history. There's so many good club players in the Valley, in this metropolitan area. Now that they've got something to aspire to here at ASU, it's very important. And so Mary, Bailey, the local players on the roster, that's really, really important that you can look up and see Arizona kids on our roster, or somebody like Geli coming from Texas, or Arj coming up from Mexico to come represent the Sun Devils. This can be a regional powerhouse, if not a national program, and I think we're well on our way.
We were both there on Wednesday for that Arizona win, and it was intense.
It was awesome.
I mean, Arizona fought. They were unranked, but they played really hard, as everyone does in this kind of a rivalry, regardless of the sport. But that third set, ASU had to win at 31-29. Seemed like it was never going to end, and then ASU dominated Arizona in that fourth set. But you said it, it's so much fun watching this sport. The back and forth, the momentum swings, constantly ebbs and flows, and when you're winning, of course, everything's better.
And let's not forget the X factor Wednesday night. You know, we talk about the energy in the building. Our swim team was there in bathing suits, a different kind of curtain of distraction maybe, but very effective on a rivalry game. And you know, again, that energy that you get from student athletes supporting student athletes and other sports being in the building. What an exciting week, and excited to have them back home this week too.
And you mentioned kind of the start to the schedule in Big 12 play. They've already played 2 ranked teams on the road in Baylor, TCU, where they were ranked at the time. You take on national power BYU. You take on a team receiving votes in Utah. So now that schedule, you don't want to ever say lightens up, but you're not going to take on a ranked team for a little while, and they are at home this week, Wednesday against Houston. That's going to be a nationally televised game as well on ESPNU at 7 p.m., and then this weekend against Colorado on Friday at 6:30. So if you haven't come out yet, if we haven't hyped you up enough with this segment and our segments beforehand, come see it with your own eyes. You'll be impressed.
I agree. And I'm biased. My wife is a volleyball medal winner from ASU, but I think it's one of our most exciting sports. It's 2 hours. It's all action. It's very energetic in the arena. We've got, I think, 7 home games left. We're trying to be a top 10 team on the court. We're also trying to be a top 10 team in average attendance. And so, you know, really exciting product here at ASU. You know, would ask our fans to come out and support the Sun Devil Volleyball team. You know, really exciting season. I think we got a chance to do some special things.
No doubt about it. And if we didn't convince you enough, maybe our next 2 guests will. A couple of ASU volleyball players in Geli and Argentina join us next on the Sun Devil Radio Network. Sun Devil Extra rolls on here from Tempe, Arizona, as we continue on talking about Sun Devil Volleyball and certainly the great start to their season. The 13th ranked Sun Devils, and we're now joined by the setter, the 5th-year setter for Arizona State, Argentina Ung. First off, Argentina, thanks for joining us here, and a great start to the season for you guys.
Yeah, thank you for having me, for inviting me, and yeah, I mean, we've been doing pretty good, and just hopefully we can just keep it up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 16-2, and you're coming into a new situation for your 5th and final year. We'll kind of talk about the process to get you to Tempe here in a moment, but I want to ask you about the adjustment period because it's the day and age of the transfer portal, and of course, you know, people are moving around in every sport quite a bit, but people don't think about you're literally moving from where you were comfortable, where you were studying, where you were living, to a new area, a new state with new teammates, new coaches. How was that adjustment for you, and was it different than what you were expecting?
So the moment I stepped on Tempe, my teammates welcomed me with open arms. I mean, I felt so welcome the first day of practice, the first meeting, same with the coaching staff. I mean, they care for us more as people as athletes, and that's like a big thing for me. My teammates were just always in contact with me, even like before we all came back for a winter. I had dinner with Geli when I was here, so that was amazing, like connecting with my teammates even before practice started.
I want to ask you about once you did hit the portal, transfer from Washington State, so you were familiar with ASU volleyball, you were familiar with this area, you'd been here before, but what was it like being recruited again after 4 years, kind of being thrown back into that fray, and then what ultimately stuck out to you about Arizona State?
I mean, just going into the portal is just something, I mean, it was exciting, of course, like schools that you didn't even think that would recruit you, like big name schools, like were like email me and stuff, so that was like just like it's like a confidence thing too.
Sure.
So I think the thing that stood out for me here at ASU was this new coaching staff and what they brought to this program. I mean, they literally made it a new program, a brand new program. I played ASU every single year while I was at Washington State. And just a big switch up in the team was a big thing for me. I mean, I wanted to be part of a veteran team, like all returners, close to home. They did great, an amazing run in the tournament last year, so I wanted to be a part of that.
Checked all your boxes then.
Exactly, literally.
Let's talk about your performance a week ago. I was just talking with Graham about the rivalry win against Arizona. It was a great environment, 4th highest attendance ever, and a dramatic, intense 4-set win. You set some high marks, 5th double-double of the year, a season high 42 assists, and a career high 20 digs against the Wildcats. So you've been a part of a couple of big rivalries, UW and Wazoo, of course, and now ASU U of A. How fun are those rivalry matchups to compete in?
I mean, you know, the coaches get all fired up, the team gets all fired up, so it's just like a fun thing to be a part of. The fans, you know, when we play in the FA, it was just packed. We couldn't even hear each other, like it was so loud. It was just so fun to be a part of. I mean, they play a big part. I know U of A missed a lot of serves, so we call those defense points.
Yeah.
Like, the defense brought us those points, so it was just amazing to be part of this rival thing, and now here at ASU, and excited to go do Tucson next week and just compete.
Yeah, you get them on the flip side next week in Tucson. Yeah, it was a season high in service errors for U of A.
Yeah, really?
In that match as well, yeah. So
yeah,
that shows.
Yeah, that was defense, all in defense.
Yeah, so let me ask you now about your background from Sonora, Mexico, and you know, you've had the opportunity to represent your national team, which is something that every kid playing whatever sport they choose dreams of. And you've had the opportunity to do that since the U18 team, and you're still competing on the senior national team right now. How special is it to have those experiences competing and representing your home country, and how proud does it make you to be able to do that?
I mean, that was, I think, one of my biggest dreams when I was little. When I started playing volleyball, I always wanted to wear the Mexico national team jersey. It's during the summer. That's like our only break when we're playing college volleyball, but at the same time, it's just like a big thing for us to go and represent our country. We don't get a lot of days off for the same thing, that we gotta go do training camp and then go practice with the national team.
Sure.
But it's just like it's just a big thing for us.
16-2 on the season, and so fans and maybe outsiders of the program, they just see that. They see the 13th ranked team as well. Obviously, the success is paramount, and you see it. But you guys had the opportunity this past summer to travel to Brazil.
Yeah.
How big was that, especially for you? Just joining this program, kind of getting to bond. You learn so much about people when you travel. How big was that for you?
I mean, that was a turning moment for us. Even like, I know Sav didn't help. And I wasn't here for the spring.
Right.
So we got to work in a lot of things in Brazil. I mean, we played every day. We play a volleyball game. I think one day we played twice.
Wow.
So that was just, I mean, it made us connect not only as players but also like as people. I mean, I learned so much about our team. We hang out 24/7 in Brazil, in another country, so we just had to stick together. I mean, we didn't know what we were about to be in Brazil. I mean, that's Rob's home, so that was also a nice thing to be part of, Rob going back to her country. Yeah, I think that played a huge factor on how our game is now. I just got to see more of the team in play, and that was just an amazing thing to be a part of. Outside
of all of the matches you guys competed in down there, what do you think will be the one memory that you'll remember forever about that trip?
I think, so we had one night that we were supposed to play a game, but for some reason this other team didn't show up, and we came back to our hotel. And we were like, okay, what should we do now? Like, we didn't play. It was like late at night. It was like, I think 8 or 9. And we all went to Copacabana Beach.
Oh, wow.
And we all played beach volleyball, like at like 10 p.m. I think it was like super late at night. We all did like a mini beach volleyball tournament, and that was just so enjoyable and so amazing.
That's like at the Mecca as well. That's amazing that you guys got to do that. So as a member of Washington State last year, we mentioned that you were a Cougar for 4 years. You saw this ASU program under Coach Van Niel. It was a 5-set thriller in Pullman that your side, Washington State, got the best of. But you kind of already mentioned this. You got to see the transformation from afar first year under Coach Van Niel, and obviously you're a part of the program now. But do you remember back to that matchup, just kind of noticing the difference for ASU? What were those differences?
Yeah, I mean, we knew by the time we played them, they had beaten Oregon, they had beaten Stanford, like top 10 programs in the country. So we knew that last year ASU was nobody to take lightly.
Right.
So we just came out, tried our best. Like, it was, at the end of the day, it was a serve and pass game. I think both teams got like 10 aces, 10 errors. So it was like something crazy like that. He came up to the serve and pass, but I mean, it was like an amazing game to watch, an amazing game to play. It came out like, I mean, the score was like 15-13, the fifth set. So it just came up to like who made the less errors in the end, but like to be able to watch how that program just made a big flip, it was just a great thing.
What's the culture like with this program, with Coach Van Niel? He seems like an intense guy from an outsider's perspective, but what's it like on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, it's compete. In our gym, like, we have great competitors. you are going to see us holding ourselves accountable.
Sure.
I mean, you could see it even in matches. I mean, we're going to go for every single ball. We are not going to let another team get easy kills. I think that's a statement of how we practice too. You can go to a practice gym, you're going to see that every day.
Yeah.
I mean, Mary is flying around the court, same with Geli, Shania, everybody. I think we give like 100% every day at practice.
Do you get wowed by Mary still and the
Yeah.
plays she makes, or have they almost become normal?
I mean, at this point, it's normal.
Right.
Yeah, but like, I mean, when I first got here, I was like, oh my God, like, I've never seen a libero do that on the same side of the net, so I'm just so happy that she's part of the side of the same net this time around. Because when we play her, I mean, at Washington State, we for sure try to like just go around her.
Has to be frustrating to play against her. Let's talk about your job as the setter, because you've got some big-time hitters. We're going to talk to one in Geli in just a moment, but Claire Jeter, Savannah Colheed, to name a few, Shania Cromartie, of course, another one. How have those talented players made your job so much better? Because your job, get them the ball and let them do their thing.
I mean, I think it all starts with the serve and pass.
Sure.
We have one of the best passing teams in the whole nation, and we wouldn't be able to run that fast of an offense if it wasn't for our passers. I mean, Geli, Shania, Mary, they do a great, amazing work out there in the passing. And I mean, my job they don't even make me move. So I would say my job is the easiest at this point. Like, they just give me the excellent passes every time. We are able to run our fast offense. That opens up so many spaces for our middles, our right side, and our outside. So it's just such an enjoyable thing to be a part of. I mean, great passers, great hitters, very athletic. Everybody in our team is super athletic. We might not be the most physical, but we are super smart. We're fast. We have a great volleyball IQ. We work on it every day at practice. Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun to watch, and we already plugged this in the first segment with Graham. You have 2 chances to come watch this team this weekend. Houston on Wednesday night. We said it was on ESPNU in the first segment. We have since been corrected. It's gotten bumped up to ESPN2, so you're going to be playing on national TV on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. and then also at home Friday against Colorado at 6:30. Argentina, big thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Glad you're a Sun Devil, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more after this. Back here on Sun Devil Extra, Braiden Bell joined alongside Sun Devil senior outside hitter Geli Sear as the Sun Devil volleyball team getting some love on the program today, and deservingly so, ranked 13th in the country, 16-2, second place in the Big 12 right now behind Kansas. Geli, first off, thanks for being here. Appreciate you coming on, but talk to me about the vibes right now and what they're like with this team, because just watching you guys, your last homestand, it looks like you guys just enjoy playing together. And of course, it helps when you win, but what are the vibes like?
I think I've never been on such a veteran team before, and I think it's really such an interesting dynamic because we really do just want to have fun this year. Obviously we want to win, like that's a given, we all know that, but I think because we are also such good friends, it's just so fun. I mean, who gets to do this? Like, barely anyone. So I just think it's really cool, and the vibes, that would be correct. We do just really like being around each other and playing together.
Important to note the experience on this team. As you said, experience is something you can't teach, but it's something that helps you so much in the grind of a long season. In terms of you obviously being one of those seniors, what's it been like for you to be a part of a program like that, or a group like this, I should say, that everyone else has kind of been through those fires before as well, in terms of just so much experience?
I think a huge thing for me personally this year has been, because I have seen this program through some not so great times, 2 great times. I think a huge thing for me has been trying to get this tradition, this culture, this legacy to resonate with younger girls, because my main goal is to leave it way better than I found it. And I think so far we've done such an amazing job, and it's the thing I'm the proudest of. People ask me what I'm proudest of here as a Sun Devil for my 4 years. It's definitely the legacy and the culture that I've been able to help create.
I want to ask you about that, because we just had Arjon, who transferred in and kind of got to see the transformation from afar. But what kind of kept you tied to Arizona State? Because you, like anyone nowadays, you had the chance to leave if you wanted to, and there were some down times, but you stayed true to this program. Now you're being rewarded with some great success at the tail end of your career. But what was it about this school that kept you here?
I really love the fan base here at Arizona State. I talked to Graham a lot, our AD, and we talk about how volleyball is growing in Tempe. And when we were playing in Nebraska, we were like, this can be us one day. We just know it. We just feel it. People love it. They want to see us play. They want to see us do well. And how great is it that we get to give wins back to them now? It's awesome. Yeah. But I think the main thing that stuck with me was just the team culture that we had despite everything. My best friends were on this team, and I just genuinely could not see myself in anything other than maroon and gold. Like, it was just like, that is where I started, and I want to see it through to the end. And then obviously JJ got hired, and I was like, I heard so much I have friends at USC, and they were like, we love him, and you're gonna love him, so it worked out.
So let's talk about your second-year head coach, JJ Van Niel, who has revitalized this program, taken it to heights that frankly it hasn't been to either ever or in a very long time. Sweet 16 appearance a year ago, and looking like another strong run coming up when postseason rolls around this year. But yeah, let's reflect back on early days under Coach Van Niel when he first showed up to Tempe. So yes, you had a little bit of people in your ears talking about what he was like at USC, but what were some of the biggest changes early on, and when did you kind of realize, like, okay, this guy's different?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, my first phone call with him was so bad. It was so bad. I remember I was like so excited. I was like, okay, new coach, like, let's go, new era. And I think he was like really tired. We've talked about it, we laugh about it now, but I think he was really tired, and like he was on like multiple flights, just a long day. I was probably his 12th phone call, and he was just like, he could not sound less interested in me, and I thought it was just like, so it's so JJ now to think about. Like, he's just on the phone. That's just how he sounds. So to any recruits out there, that's just how he sounds. I promise he's a great guy. But now looking back, it's so funny because he's like a second father to me. It's really, really nice to have that relationship with the coach. It's just it's pretty rare, actually, especially in the college game, because I think a lot of times athletes can get lost as just a person on the court who like can get you points and keep your contract, honestly. And I think he sees us all as so much more than that, and that is something that you can't really get a lot of the time, and he really does a great job at that. Is that something that you as an athlete and your teammates as well, is that something that makes you want to even fight harder for him, knowing 100%. That there is that connection? 100%. Yeah, I don't want to see anyone succeed more than JJ Van Niel. That's awesome, and that shows why you guys are succeeding at such a high level. Last time we talked, just a little under a week ago, it was off of your career-high 23-kill performance in a 4-set win over Arizona. We mentioned the crowd. It was a good atmosphere at Desert Financial Arena. How special was that night for you personally, and also the team as a whole? You had to battle through some adversity against a gritty Arizona team, and you still came out on top. Yeah, I'm more proud than anyone that we have crowds like that. It's just so amazing to see. I can't talk about it enough. And thank you for coming out, and please keep coming. We love having you guys there. But like I told you, I think that night I had no idea I had 23 kills. I had no idea. I honestly thought I was kind of doing not great. So I don't know. I was proud of the way that I was managing. I think I can limit my errors a little bit more, but yeah, it was a great environment. Shout out to the swim team. The Speedos were great. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think Arj talked about it, but the way that they were missing serves, I mean, those are fan points, so it speaks a lot to them. Yeah, the modified curtain of distraction, if you will, with the swim team showing up, that created quite the advantage, and I think it distracted you a bit. We need to get them courtside, I think. They were a little too far away. I agree with you. Yeah. Let's get them low. Let's get them right there. Right behind the seats, yeah, right behind the seats. I think that's something we can maybe get going for this upcoming weekend. I want to ask about your offensive attack as a team, because you know, I get the chance to talk to opposing head coaches in preparation for your games, and every single coach says the same thing about how dangerous you guys are offensively, how great your passing is, and how quick you guys play. Well, how enjoyable has it been to play in that kind of a system and a style of play? Because it seems so much fun, especially as an outside hitter. Yeah, it's so fun, and it just opens up so much court for me and Shania and the right sides. I just think, who do you block? Right. I mean, we run it so fast. It's like you have Jeter and Savannah and Bailey and me and Shania, and it's like, where do you go? Who do you front? If you read block against us, good luck. I mean, I don't know. I have never defended our team before, but I wouldn't like to. Right? Yeah, it's like if you choose one way to try to stop you, someone else is going to go off. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much
I don't want to say an impossible task, but it's not an easy task whatsoever, and your record shows that. Tried and true Texan is Geli Sear, Flower Mound, Texas, just north of Dallas, if that's correct. What did you think when you first saw the news that ASU to the Big 12 and you'd get to play some more conference games in the state of Texas? What was your reaction like to that, and what's that been like so far this year? Yeah,
so I'm from Texas, grew up in Seattle actually, so die-hard Pac-12 fan. Like, grew up a huge Husky fan. That's all I wanted to be when I was younger. I just wanted to go to UW. And to be able to compete against them was amazing and such a cool experience, and even beat them a couple of times was pretty cool. So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little sad to see the Pac-12 go, but then when I realized I was going to be playing at home, I was just so excited. My brother got to go to one of my games, his first one ever. It was just really cool, stuff like that. My aunt and uncle got to go to one. They never got to go to any. So yeah, it's just been really cool. It's so different. It's so different. The Pac-12 had been around since, I don't know, Pac-6, Pac-8, Pac-10. And there was always kind of like, the Stanford, where it was like they were kind of rolling through teams a lot. And Big 12, it's just so more spread out. I feel like every week there's just different upsets and different games that we didn't think were going to go that way. And so I think just being on top of that has been something that has really been helping us. And I'm really excited to play Kansas and see what's going on over there.
yeah, you mentioned Kansas, and of course they're the only team you're looking at right now in the standings. But kind of off the court, is there one place that you're excited to go to, or maybe a place you've already been in Big 12 play? I know it's totally different scenery and geography, not as many cities in this conference. Is there somewhere you're really excited to go to? Yeah,
I have two. I'm kind of excited to go back to BYU a little bit. We're playing there on Halloween night, which is very interesting. I mean, we played there last year, and the fans there did not like us very much. So
I wonder why.
All right. Big devils across our jersey. I don't know. But should be fun. Love playing there. And Provo is just beautiful, so I just like being there. And then I'm kind of interested, this is so random, but to go to West Virginia.
Sure.
I've also heard they shoot off a gun, but like no bullets or anything, but like what's it called when nothing comes out?
Yeah, a blank.
They shoot a blank after the national anthem.
Oh.
I guess.
Okay, so don't jump.
No, and so I guess it freaks out everyone. And Bailey Miller is from West Virginia, so she was like, I'm going to show you guys around Morgantown, I think it is.
Yep.
And I was just, I know it's pretty small and like not much to do there, but I'm excited to see it.
You blare country roads that whole trip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to do.
I don't have much East Coast experience, so I'm kind of excited.
Yeah. Some different things you guys get to see.
Exactly.
One more for you. Dating back to growing up, and you said you were dreaming of playing at UW and playing college volleyball, but was there a specific moment that you really fell in love with the sport where you're like, this is my jam, this is what I want to do?
I don't know if there was a specific moment. I do know why I fell in love with it.
Sure.
I played every position. I started as libero because I was literally 8 years old and they could not put me in the front row. And then I was a setter and a right side, and then I was a middle, and then I finally landed on outside / libero. And depending on what the coach thought, if I was tall or not, basically. But I fell in love with it because there's so many different ways to win, and I love how you need every little piece to work in order to really, it's just such a team game. I tell people all the time, I could not be a gymnast because I'm just not a good, I hate serving because it's only me back there, you know what I mean? And so to have that sort of camaraderie with a team, I don't know another sport where you genuinely need everyone that much. Even soccer, you can go down there and you can do it your whole self if you really wanted to and you wanted to try, but in volleyball, it's just it's such a team sport, and I love that about it. That's why I want to go into coaching afterward.
So you do want to go into coaching afterward. Is that something you talked to JJ about or have talked about in the past?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we could ever work together because I think, to be honest, we would butt heads a little bit. I think he would say the same thing because we're just so alike.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watch him just from a distance and just seeing how he deals with certain things all the time.
Take note, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I got one last one for you, and I want you to finish this sentence for me.
Okay.
I will consider this season a success if.
Oh, that's a good question. I will consider this season a success if I can come back next year and see the culture still thriving. And I can see, or if next year there are even more fans at the game, I will consider it a success.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Geli Sear, so much fun to watch. As we've already said, 2 home games this week against Houston on Wednesday, Colorado on Friday. The momentum, the program, things are just continuing to build. She's been here from the jump. She's a Sun Devil through and through. We'll be back to wrap things up with Graham Rossini when we come back. We're back here on Sun Devil Extra, presented by Spring Hill Suites, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Braiden Bell, joined again by Athletic Director Graham Rossini, back for our final segment of today's show. A lot of exciting stuff covered already, but it was a busy week that was, and a very busy week to come as well for Sun Devil Athletics. Let's get back into what we saw this past weekend and take a trip over to Mona Plummer and talk about what the swim and dive team did, both the men's and the women's. They were taking on all the Arizona schools, so U of A, GCU, NAU. The number 6 ranked men's team swept their 2 opponents over the weekend, and we have to talk about Olympian Elia Karoun, who, get this, at the 3rd fastest all-time mark in the 100-meter IM at 46.91 seconds. So we've told you, you see Olympic-level talent when you come out and watch this program. Well, if you were there this past weekend, you saw the 3rd fastest time ever. That includes the Olympic Games. So big shout out to the men's program, the number 21 ranked women's program. They swept all 3 opponents they took on at Mona Plummer. Really cool weekend at the pool.
Yeah, I mean, really strong start to the swim season, you know, coming off the national championship and a busy summer. You know, we had the White House visit that the team got recognized in for the Olympians, like Ilya, a lot of media appearances out the gate, including, you know, Friday afternoon we had our annual affinity reunion with the Alumni Association, and the theme this year was Sun Devil Olympians. We had about 40 Olympians from over the eras in different sports. Ilya was featured on a panel, did an incredible job answering some questions alongside, you know, fellow Sun Devil Olympians in a variety of sports. But, you know, featured on a Friday luncheon, in the pool on a Saturday, dominating the way that he did, really setting the tone for the team. Really eager to step into the leadership role now that Leon has moved on into his professional career. And, you know, we've got some special talent at Mona Plummer, and we're really excited about the job that Coach Bam and his coaches are doing, you know, coming off of last year and some transition in our program, but off to a good start and a really good vibe and energy at Mona Plummer as well. I mean, a lot of alumni and letter winners have been in the pool. We're adding some hospitality elements over there, and off to a good start 2 weeks in.
Yeah, the experience really being stepped up over there as well. Like you noted, the hospitality coming into play, and obviously when you're defending national champions, there's a whole lot of buzz, but you know, we talked about this dating back to, I think, our first show. This is a school that had the most Olympians in the Big 12 this past summer games in Paris, so there is a rich history, both in the recent past and far down the line as well. But when you see a guy like Elia, who competed for Canada, won a bronze medal, and seemingly stepping up his game more and more as time goes on. Really, really cool stuff. They'll have the week off now, but a really great start to the season for both the men and the women, certainly. Speaking of events here in Tempe this weekend, you can catch the women's soccer team at home. We already mentioned volleyball being at home, but women's soccer as well, Thursday at 7 against Kansas State, and then a Sunday matinee against Kansas. And get this, we checked, the high that day I think is only in the 70s. So you got no excuse. Yep, it is coming. It
might good stuff is here.
It's here. It's not even.
It's here.
It is
we're,
here.
We're in pullovers, a little crisp air in the morning. It's a beautiful thing.
It's quarter zip season, which I think we both welcome. But yes, women's soccer back at home, and certainly a couple of exciting Big 12 opponents coming in, and that season's winding down rather quickly. So if you want to go out and see the women's soccer program,
3 home games left.
Yep, Thursday and Sunday against the Wildcats and the Jayhawks, K-State Wildcats, I should clarify.
And then we get the other Wildcats here a week from now. So
yes. How about the, what do we call it, that first ever show we did, the Triathlon Dynasty, the Trinasty, correct?
Trinasty, yep.
Well, they continue to just move along, and a friend of the program, Naomi Ruff, brought home the individual title. The team took home first in the regional qualifier over the weekend. So along with Cam Scadaboo, you've got Naomi Ruff. If you come on this program, good things are going to happen to you.
I like it.
Yeah, so a big shout out to the triathlon team over the weekend as they just continue to dominate that sport. So impressive, you know, what they've been able to do in maintaining that high level of success.
Yeah, and I think that sport, I mean, of all of our 26, the triathletes and what they put in, I mean, they are swimmers, they are runners, they are cyclists, they are endurance athletes. It is beyond impressive that we're sitting here a couple weeks out from getting a chance to compete for an 8th consecutive national championship. It's going to take place in Florida this year, so that's a little bit of a departure. We've been lucky to host. Ironically, I think in Claremont, Florida, so outside of Orlando, the same morning that we're competing against Central Florida. So,
perfect.
I need to study some flight routes and see if there's a way to be in 2 places at once, but really excited for triathlon going into the national championships once again. And this is a sport that's growing at a national level, in that process of becoming a Division I NCAA sport right now, but still competing at the highest level of college triathlon right now. And Coach English, what he's been doing here, they're actually in Spain right now with a group of triathletes that are competing in the World Championships before they come back and compete for a national championship. So just an unbelievable grind, but really testament to what incredible athletes they are.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's been so cool to watch them and also get to know them a little bit on this show and otherwise as well. Off to the golf course now. The men's golf team competing in the Williams Cup in North Carolina Saturday through Monday. Women's golf will be at Palo Alto in a Stanford Invitational, intercollegiate, I should say, over the weekend as well. Of course, 2 rich programs. We've talked a lot about men's golf, but women's golf getting their time in the spotlight this weekend as well.
Yeah, and excited, the return to Stanford, kind of ironic now, is not a member of the Pac-12, but getting a chance to go back to a familiar course. And I think we'll get our first rankings on the women's side here in the next few days, and very hopeful for a very strong, high ranking to get into the season with. And again, just sets the tone in terms of we're a golf school amongst the other things that we've already talked about, but the men and women really competing at a high level, and excited to get a layer deeper into their schedule as well.
Why don't we just say we're an everything school? Let's just be an everything
school. We're on our way.
Right?
We're building it. We're trying to build.
A lot of momentum.
Yep.
And yeah, like you said, ACC country in Palo Alto now for this weekend's intercollegiate Stanford Invitational. Men's tennis, they'll be at home this weekend as well. The ITA Regionals in Tempe Thursday through Monday. That's another sport that maybe Sun Devil fans have never gone out and witnessed in person, but it's a lot of fun. Of course, if you watch tennis at all on TV, you kind of get the athleticism, the physical strain these athletes go through on a day-to-day basis. But to see it live, it's a totally different ball game. I recommend going out and seeing that this weekend.
Yeah, live tennis, you can't do any better than that. And we're talking a lot about the facilities of tennis and track and field next door, and kind of some longer-term vision on getting them situated in some new facilities across rural, and letting that Novus Innovation District continue to build out adjacent to Mullet Arena and Desert Financial Arena. And so a lot of eyeballs on tennis right now. There's a lot of program supporters that are coming back around. And so in the times that we do get a chance to play at home, really important to have a good showing and a lot of fans in there to encourage them. It's a fun sport, as you mentioned. It's a very international roster, one of our most international rosters, certainly on the men's side, and excited to get them underway. They've got a lot of veteran, experienced talent on the roster, and so it's nice to get them underway on a home match this week, and we'll keep building there as well.
Last thing to note coming up this week, cross country, a meet at Texas A&M this weekend, so good luck to the cross country squad as well as they head down to College Station for their meet this weekend. Well, Graham, we covered a lot. I know we joked that it was a slow week, but it was not anything but. But now looking forward, football at Cincinnati, maybe some Skyline Chili in your future, who knows? But what else are you looking forward to this week and weekend to come?
Just keep building the energy. I'm so excited to be at this point in mid-October now with some sports really finding their stride. Volleyball, soccer getting ready for a conference tournament in a few weeks. Football in the way that they've represented, a number of sports that have been underway and advancing. We're not that far away from the start of basketball season as well. Hockey getting out the gate, and so just incredible energy all around us. I'm so thankful for the support that all of our athletes are receiving. Fans are turning up in every venue in every way. We've had a number of alumni and letter winners from multiple sports back on campus. Different reasons to celebrate them, different reasons that they wanted to kind of reconnect in their program, and just ask the folks out there listening and watching to keep pouring energy and attention into the young people that are here to represent ASU. It's been exciting out the gate. We've got our eyes on some bigger outcomes, and we do it together. And so just, we're trying to build the experience that gets more people on campus. We're so thankful for that is well underway, and that job's never done.
Valley's being activated. You can feel it every single day.
Yeah.
Argentina, Geli, Sear, our guests today. Big thank you to them for stopping by. Graham, good to have you back this weekend as well. A lot of fun to talk about what has happened and what is to come. So for Graham Rossini, I'm Braiden Bell saying so long from Tempe. We'll talk to you again next week.